What if placing a chair for rest got you a $300 fine? What if it led to police threatening to tear it down? In Florida, Helen Carter faced an HOA nightmare, but she fought back with courage. Stay tuned for a story of elderly rights, injustice, and a heartwarming twist of justice. In the sunny suburb of Palm Breeze Estates, Florida, the streets were lined with palm trees. The scent of saltwater drifted from the nearby coast. Here, 78-year-old Helen Carter had lived for decades. She was a retired schoolteacher with a warm smile. Helen had bought her $280,000 bungalow in 1985. It was a cozy home filled with memories. On the humid morning of August 3rd, 2027, Helen placed a small wooden chair in her front yard. It was for elderly neighbours to rest during walks. The chair creaked softly as she set it down. A bright cushion added a pop of colour. The sound of waves whispered in the distance. Palm Breeze Estates was governed by a strict homeowners association. It was led by 55-year-old President Carl Dempsey, a former real estate agent. Carl enforced rules with a heavy hand. He saw the EIE neighbourhood as a pristine, uniform paradise. No clutter, no exceptions, and certainly no furniture that could disrupt the aesthetic. The HOA bylaws were strict. No outdoor furniture without approval, they stated. A $300 fine per violation. Carl applied this rule without mercy. He believed chairs belonged inside or on patios. That morning, he drove through the neighbourhood in his golf cart. The wheels hummed on the pavement. He spotted Helen's chair in her yard. It was a clear violation in his eyes. Carl's face hardened. He adjusted his sunglasses. "A chair in the front yard," he muttered. "That's a fine, and it's coming down today." He pulled out his phone. His fingers dialed the local police. The call connected with a faint click. At 10:20 a.m., Helen watered her flowers near the chair. The water splashed softly on the petals. The chair sat quietly under a palm tree. Suddenly, the sharp wail of police sirens broke the morning calm. Helen turned. Her sandals shuffled on the grass. A police cruiser pulled up to her house. Its tires crunched on the street. Red and blue lights flashed in the sunlight. 2 officers stepped out. Their boots hit the pavement with a thud. The lead officer, 43-year-old Paul Rivera, approached Helen. "Ma'am, we've had a complaint about unapproved furniture," Officer Rivera said. His voice was firm. It cut through the sound of the waves. Helen's brow furrowed. She leaned on her cane. "A complaint? It's just a chair for people to rest," she said. Her voice was gentle but firm. Her words carried through the humid air. Carl had followed in his golf cart. He stepped out with a stern expression. He held a fine notice in his hand. His shirt was crisp despite the heat. "Your chair violates HOA rules. It's an eyesore," he declared. His tone was sharp. "That's a $300 fine, and we're removing it." Helen's eyes widened. She gripped her cane tighter. "This is my yard. It's for my neighbours to rest," she countered. Her words overlapped with the sound of Carl tearing the fine notice from his pad. The paper ripped with a harsh sound. "Officer." Rivera wasn't moved. He was known in Palm Breeze Estates for enforcing HOA complaints. "If you don't comply, I'll have to take further action," he snapped. His tone was cold. He turned to his partner. "We'll need to remove the chair," he said. His voice was firm. The officers moved toward the chair. The wood creaked as they lifted it. Helen watched in disbelief. Her heart sank. The chair was carried to the cruiser. The cushion fell to the ground. "You can't do this," Helen said. Her voice trembled with emotion. Officer Rivera turned to her. He unhooked his handcuffs from his belt. The metal clinked ominously. "Ma'am, step back or you'll be arrested," he warned. His voice was low. Helen took a deep breath. She steadied herself with her cane. Her voice grew stronger. "I won't let you bully me," she said. Her tone was resolute. She reached into her apron pocket. The rustle of fabric broke the tense silence. She pulled out her phone. "I'm calling my grandson. He's a lawyer," she said. Her voice carried determination. The phone rang twice. Her grandson answered. Officer Rivera paused. He set the chair down. The wood creaked on the pavement. Carl's eyes narrowed. His fine notice trembled in his hand. The paper crinkled as his confidence wavered. "A lawyer," he muttered. His voice was uneasy. He realized this might not be simple. Rivera spoke into his radio. The static crackled with his message. "Dispatch. We may have a situation. Stand by," he said. His voice was cautious. Neighbours began to gather. They stood on their lawns. Their murmurs grew louder. They watched the scene unfold. The palm trees swayed gently in the breeze. Some nodded in support of Helen. They knew the chair was for their benefit too. Helen explained the situation to her grandson. Her voice was steady on the phone. "They're trying to take my chair," she said. "It's for the elderly to rest." Her grandson promised to help. He advised her to stay calm. Helen ended the call. She turned to Rivera and Carl. "You'll hear from my lawyer," she said. Her tone was firm. Rivera nodded. His face showed uncertainty. "We'll wait for further instructions," he said. His voice was softer. He and his partner stepped back. They placed the chair back in the yard. The cushion was picked up and set on it. Carl tried to argue. His voice was shaky. "The bylaws still apply," he said. His tone was desperate. The paper crinkled louder as he turned to leave. The next day, Helen's grandson filed a lawsuit against the HOA. He was a skilled lawyer with a passion for justice. The rustle of legal documents filled his office. The lawsuit gained attention in Palm Breeze Estates. Neighbours rallied behind Helen. They shared stories of the HOA's overreach. The trial took place in a local courthouse. Residents packed the gallery. Their footsteps echoed on the floor. Helen's grandson presented the case. "The HOA's rule is unjust," he argued. His voice was steady. "It violates the rights of the elderly." The rustle of exhibits was loud as he handed them to the judge. Carl and the HOA board struggled to defend their actions. Their lawyer's voice was shaky. He tried to justify the fine. The tension in the courtroom was thick. The judge delivered a swift verdict. His gavel slammed down with a resounding thud. The sound echoed through the room. "The HOA's actions were discriminatory," he declared. His voice boomed. The HOA was ordered to pay Helen $5,000 in damages. The verdict was a clear win. It left Carl visibly shaken. His fine notice was now a worthless piece of paper. The residents of Palm Breeze Estates cheered. Their applause filled the courthouse. It was a celebration of Helen's victory. They thanked her for standing up. In the aftermath, the HOA rescinded its outdoor furniture ban. Carl stepped down in disgrace. His resignation was announced at the next meeting. A new president took over. The community's freedom was restored. Elderly neighbours could now rest without fear. Helen continued to live in her bungalow. The chair remained in her yard. It creaked softly as neighbours sat to rest. The cushion stayed bright under the palm tree. Palm Breeze Estates became a symbol of elderly rights. Helen stood in her yard. She smiled at a neighbour sitting in the chair. A sense of justice warmed her in the Florida sun. And so, a simple chair became a battle for justice in Palm Breeze Estates, Florida. Helen Carter turned the tables on an overzealous HOA. How would you fight for elderly rights? What do you think? Should HOAs stop acts of kindness? Share your thoughts. Join us next. Time for another tale of justice. Until then, keep standing up for what's right. Thank you for listening.